Hello, dear viewers. My name is Carter Freeman. I am a music fan. I've been writing about music for a long time, and I've been recently putting together my favorite and least favorite music of the 2020s so far. And I've always written about music. I have a blog, which I will link in the description below, but I figured it was time to start talking about it because all I love to do is blab to my friends and my coworkers and my family about the music I listen to. So why not just blab into a camera and see if anybody listens? Capiche? Capiche. Today I'm going to talk about my least favorite songs of the 2020s so far. We're only through 5 years of the decade, and there have been some stinkers. There's been a lot of bad singular tracks from artists you know, artists you may not know. I wish I didn't know any of them, but I do, and I'm here to talk about them. So there will be a link to every song I talk about in this video on the full article on my website, which is linked down below in the description. If you care to listen to it, I don't know why you would. I'm here to tell you why you shouldn't, but if the morbid curiosity that got me gets you with these songs, by all means, go ahead, share in my misery. We're going to speed through the first 10, and I'll spend a little more time on the top 10 because those are the real bad ones, right? They're in the top 10 for a reason. So 20 through 11, here we go. And number 20 is Little Big with Tacos. This is a really annoying, repetitive, skibbity toilet kind of song. There's random goat screams at any given point in the song. The horns just beat you over the head. It's extremely obnoxious. This band has done some fun, irreverent stuff before, but this is absolutely not one of them. I don't get it. I don't like it. Let's go. Number 19 is Kanye West and Ty Dolla $ign with Vultures, part of one of those many awful collaboration albums that they released together. Ty Dolla $ign's bars are garbage. They're awful. He doesn't sound interested. Neither does Kanye, and Kanye in his modern form is just here to offend and to make all of us that were lifelong fans of his really disappointed, myself being one of them. Number 18 is a song I actually liked when it first came out, and those feelings quickly changed the more I heard it because Flowers by Miley Cyrus is as painfully generic, as painfully boring, and painfully uninteresting as any major pop song from a major artist like Miley Cyrus has been this decade. It's whiny. The chorus is irritating. It's written like a 17, 18-year-old. There's no nuance. And I guess, that can appeal to a lot of people, but it's just sickeningly uninteresting. It's gotten so much radio play, and I get it. Miley Cyrus is big, but it's just not good. There's so much better pop music out there. Coming in at 17 is a song that the artist was so embarrassed that he released it that he deleted it from the internet. He made the right choice. That's J. Cole with 7 Minute Drill. He tried to take part in the Kendrick Lamar-Drake beef, a beef that was just nothing but vitriol and hate and accusing the other one of being a pedophile or a wife beater. And J. Cole thought it would be cool to come in like, yo, bro, your first one was good, but your second one wasn't that good. This is a beef of spite and hate, and you're going to try and come in like the smart guy? That's stupid. That's dumb. Don't do that. I can at least appreciate that J. Cole decided it was bad, and he decided to delete it, but he did drop it in the first place, and he does not get any brownie points for that. At 16 is one of the lowest effort songs on this list, and there's a lot. That is DaBaby with Shake Some from his Call to Fireman EP. There's no way he spent more than $20 on the beat. There's no way he spent more than 10 minutes writing this song, and there's no reason for you to listen to it. Number 15 is a band that should have stayed in the 2000s, but they continue to torture us to this day. That's Maroon 5 with Beautiful Mistakes featuring Megan Thee Stallion. The trap pop beat is just gross. I don't like hearing Adam Levine sing over it, especially knowing what they once did, the good music they used to make when George W. Bush was in office. I just don't think Megan Thee Stallion's a good fit here either. Her trying to sing as opposed to rap, it just doesn't work. And Adam Levine's still trying to appeal to like teenagers when he's in like his mid-40s. It just doesn't work. It's just lame. Speaking of lame, how about my number 14 song? That's Lizzo with Girls. A very shallow piece of female empowerment over a Beastie Boys sample that just sickens me. Those guys deserve better. We deserve better. Lizzo's done better. I don't know why she keeps doing this. At number 13, it's the Joe Bros, the Jonas Brothers with Waffle House. Nobody has ever solved anything in a Waffle House without violence. That's just the law of the land. You're not solving your relationship issues in there unless you're beating the shit out of each other. That's probably part of the fun of the song, but it's not fun when it's just this bland, this boring, these vocals are tasteless, this pop beat is catchy in the worst way. It's an earworm you don't want to get stuck in your head, but it will. It's bad target music, and I don't think it'll ever get played in a Waffle House proper. Coming in after that, that would be Green Day, another band who hasn't released anything good since W was in office. There's a lot of bad songs from their album Father of All, but on this list, I'm going with I Was a Teenager. Billy Joe Armstrong is not a teenager. He is not a teenager. He was almost 50 when he wrote this song. There's no reason for Billy Joe to be singing from this perspective. There's no reason for him and the band to stoop to the level of genericism that they do on this track. It's got every cliche of a bad punk rock song from a band that has done punk rock well, but like I said, it's been a long time since they've made good music, and this is one of the absolute pits that they fell into. Then at number 11, another annoying pop single that I could not get away from quick enough. That's Ed Sheeran and Bad Habits. Worse target music than Waffle House. This wouldn't have been inventive in like 2010 when like the synth pop thing was like, big on the radio. Ed Sheeran's not sexy. He does not fit the song whatsoever, and I say that as a fellow ginger. I respect that. I do not respect this track whatsoever. All right, the top 10 worst tracks of the decade. Here we go. Number 10, Fall Out Boy, We Didn't Start the Fire. No, they did not start the fire, but I would love to set the song on fire. The original Billy Joel song is a classic. It covers so much major world history from 1949 to 1989 in order. The Fall Out Boy update from 2023, not so much. There's no gravitas like there is with the Billy Joel original. The way that they go about listing off these historical events is just cliche. It's like they went down a Wikipedia list of world history and just got everything out of order too, which doesn't make any sense when the original is in order. It's one of those songs that never needed to be remade because it's so set in the time frame that the original came out. But I guess Captain Planet was important enough to include in a song like this, except it wasn't. At number 9, there's a lot of songs from this trio that I could have picked, but we're gonna go with the opener to their album OK Orchestra. That would be AJR with OK Overture. Their brand of man-child pop music sickens me. It always has, it always will. And this song in particular just walks you through every little awful bit of their kind of music. Here are our drums. Obnoxious drum beat. Here are our melodies. Sickening Disney-fied melodies. Here are our vocals. Let's sing like we never grew past the 5th grade with the way we look at the world. I've never gotten the appeal. It's just so overblown, so in your face, loud for the sake of being loud, fake deep, and this is like the perfect encapsulation of why this band sucks. And number 8 is a sign of why we need to vet our celebrities. It would be Dream with Young Gravy. The song title is Everest. Forgot to mention that. Anybody can get popular nowadays if you have a camera and a microphone and a video camera. Maybe kind of what I'm trying to do now. But I'm not trying to make music. I'm not trying to take the most simple version of pop music and just bastardize it like Dream does here. Dream has no Minecraft talent to begin with. He cheated with that. Definitely doesn't have music talent. Everest follows every lazy, boring trope of any top 40 song and slaps on top of it some of the flattest, most out-of-tune vocals you'll hear on any song this decade so far. Kind of like AJR, it's just really kind of painfully immature in the way that it looks at the world. The Young Gravy feature is expectedly awful. He's been making terrible music for a long time. He's a perfect match with just Dream's awful flat vocals. It's just something you want to leave on the top of Mount Everest and just never think about ever again. Number 7, GFOTY, Brand New Bra. I remember when I originally wrote my worst of 2022, what I wrote was I listened to 2 songs about boobs that year, and neither of them were good, but one of them was fun, and that was Kim Petras with Coconuts. This is not fun. This is a mess. You can't listen to this and not tell me this wasn't put together by a chimpanzee. There's so much about this song that like should be funny, and it's just not. Like listing off all different slang terms for boobs should be funny, but the flat vocals, the just awful lyrics in general, it just doesn't work, and the production is as bad as any song on this list. It is an audio disaster. Songs about boobs should be fun, or at least funny. And I should be laughing with GFOTY, but I'm not. I'm just cringing each time I hear it. Seriously, look at the lyrics to this thing. It is just, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it. I'm moving on. Number 6, that would be Camila Cabello. I still don't really know how to say her name, but her song, I Love It, featuring Playboi Carti. Her style of like really bland mainstream pop music needs a facelift, but if it's going to get a facelift in this electronic synth pop, hyper pop kind of style, there needs to be love and care put into it. And there's just not. It's repetitive. It's nonsensical. It's really annoying. The Playboi Carti feature adds absolutely nothing. It functions on like a song level, like everything about it, the production, the singing, like it goes through the numbers like any normal radio hit would, but it's that level of like not caring about the source and the history of the genre, like just using it as a facelift for your own crappy music. That's what grinds my gears. That's why it ranks so highly on this list. All right, here we go. The bottom 5, the worst songs of the decade so far. Number 5, that is MGK, Machine Gun Kelly, with Lil Wayne on the song A. Yeah, all of MGK's pop punk is awful, but I went with this particular track because him wanting to be so nonchalant in his depression, in his sadness, it's just one of those songs that just doesn't get what it's singing about. It's like, yeah, pop punk is always about, F the world and like, how much things suck. But there's usually like a level of like understanding about like moving forward or like catharsis. There's just not here. Like the nonchalantness that MGK sings with, I use singing very lightly, as opposed to him just like reading off his lyrics and not really understanding, oh, I'm supposed to sing here. It's like all of his singing is bad, but this one in particular, and throw on like Lil Wayne trying to sing on here too, and it's all supposed to be some level of like meaningful, and it's just not. It's awful, it sucks, but it is at least better than number 4 on this worst songs of the decade so far list. That is Mrs. Leah Kate with Twinkle Twinkle. A line like Twinkle Twinkle Little Bitch should be funny. It should make me laugh. Like that's objectively like a funny line. But instead of being funny, it's just the beginning of this Olivia Rodrigo ripoff that doesn't understand what makes Olivia Rodrigo fun. The great writing, the hooks, the real vim and vigor like behind everything she does, even on her ballads. None of that's here. None. Of course, you got flat vocals. Of course, you've got a really generic instrumental that just is not fun. Leah Kate is not an artist by any means. She's not a singer. We've given her a just really awful generic version of an Olivia Rodrigo track to sing over, and she does not even do that justice. Nothing about this song does anything justice, especially to that opening line. I should like that, and I don't. All right, number 3 is Måneskin with Cool Kids. They apparently wrote it after they won Eurovision, and that's where a lot of people thought they were cool. Or Måneskin didn't like the Cool Kids. They didn't like the crowd that they were a part of. So they thought they could just skewer them and tear them apart, when the way they go about it is as juvenile as they possibly could. These jokers don't understand what makes rock music good to begin with, so you're just in for a loud for no reason kind of time. And that not only it translates on the instrumental, where it's like these guys don't know how to play the guitar well, they just know to like strum a couple chords and just go. But the vocals, the dude's voice is like nails on a chalkboard. We're really at like 8th grade level lyricism too. Like, Cool Kids don't use floss? Really? We couldn't have come up with anything better than that. It's the crowning achievement of garbage that the band has done. I mean, it's a band that does not deserve any of the level of popularity that they've received over the last couple years, and this is why. At number 2, second worst song of the decade, that's a cover of Lazarus by David Bowie. This was covered by G-Eazy. Lazarus is a song that is so indebted to David Bowie's final days, like him ruminating on his impending death. He knew he was going to die. David Bowie was a cosmic figure that just new. It's so indebted to Black Star and like the myth around David Bowie. So what the hell made G-Eazy, some lame-o white rapper that not a lot of people have even heard of, think he can go cover this song and do it justice? The version of the instrumental here is like garage band tier. I think any watcher of this video could go in and create something similar. And if you don't try with your voice, you can do something similar to what G-Eazy did here too. Gosh, like the nasaliness of this adds nothing. It's like he's doing this nasally voice, this nasally singing voice on purpose. And of course, G-Eazy is not David Bowie. There's no comparison between the two. There's a million other David Bowie songs from like the 70s or the 80s that you could have butchered, but why did you want to do this one? Why? It still just blows my mind that he thought, yes, Lazarus, that's the song to do. That's the one that people are going to remember me for. And I remember it, but not for the right reasons. So yes, that song sucks. But it's not as bad as number one. The number one worst song of the decade, in my opinion, so far. And that is Miss Katy Perry with Woman's World. It's hard not to smile when just thinking about the level that Katy Perry stooped to when making this track. I think essays could be written on just about everything that's wrong with it. It's supposed to be this big female empowerment anthem, which is fine and all. Like, that's absolutely, the things like that should be done. But like the way that Katy goes about it is like she's regressed so much as a songwriter. And I don't think Katy Perry was ever Shakespeare. She wasn't. But we're talking like fourth grader on Wikipedia getting a summary of why women are awesome. Women are cool. Women are great. Imagine that, but as a 3.5-minute pop song. And beyond just how banal the lyrics are, they're delivered in such a mechanical, like forced way. I don't think this is actually Katy Perry singing. There's been so many claims about AI doing Katy Perry's music on this most recent album, and it's really hard to refute that. I refuse to believe that someone like Katy Perry, who's seen the level of success that few other artists of her time have, thought this was the right way to go. Either she's a robot and she's been replaced, or Dr. Luke held her at gunpoint while making the song, which the instrumental too sounds like something you would get from a royalty-free library. There's no way this cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to produce. It very well might be artificial intelligence, but there's nothing intelligent about it. There's nothing remotely interesting. There's nothing remotely good about it. It is low-hanging fruit. I mean, this is a pretty popular pick for one of the worst songs of 2024, but it's there for a reason. It would be really funny if it wasn't just so damn sad that this is where Katy Perry is at this point. So there you go. 20 just dreadful, awful songs that I wish I'd never heard, but I have, and now you've heard me talk about them. Again, if you want to listen to them, there's a link to each song in the full article that I have up on my Substack, which you can get in the link down below in the description. So thank you for watching. I'm hoping to do more of these, more talking about some of my favorite music and my least favorite music of the decade so far. So until next time, I'll see you later.